Mal taking you through news from India and across the globe. Let me start with our top story as we delve deep into Bihar's political stage. That's now heating up. Prime Minister Modi raking up the GAALI Galoch politics, speaking about how he was abused, saying, "My mother is long gone, but Bihar's people will not forgive those who have abused my mother because they know what motherhood really means." So an emotional pitch there by Prime Minister Modi right ahead of Bihar elections. How far will it resonate? We have our analysts joining us on that. And of course, we will take you through Gurugram, a sinking city. Such a mess, home to the best of tech giants there and the wealthiest of people. Your apartments running up to 10 to 100 crores. Apartments, not even villas. That city that was meant to declog Delhi is now really the actual choke point. We will give you reasons to what's happening with Gurugram, with our panelists. And finally, the Maratha quota the protest has ended with Manoj Jarange has finally ended his indefinite fast after promises made to live up to the demands by the Maharashtra government. As always, the headlines first. Maharashtra government has issued Hyderabad Gazette grants Maratha OBC status to Jarange. In fact, for that community wanting the Kundi certificate, the Maharashtra government has finally agreed to it, with this Maratha quota stir ending after nearly 5 days of the agitation. Prime Minister Modi slams RJD Congress over abuses aimed at his late mother, calls it an insult to women of India. RJD responds, saying Modi only playing emotions and exploiting remarks to seek votes. Gold prices, in fact, skyrockets as we're looking at 400 rupees we're looking at nearly 400 on September 2nd as US tariffs weaken the rupee, fueling safe haven demand. 99% purity now at 1,06,000 per 10 grams. That's what Delhi markets have said. Karnataka government notifies Greater Bengaluru Governance Act. BBMP dissolves. GBA now takes charge starting September 2nd. New Greater Bengaluru Authority led by Chief Minister Siddaramaiah. In fact, today itself, BBMP no more exists. GBA comes into place as civic authority. Directorate of Revenue Intelligence issues a 102 crore show cause notice to actor Rania Rao in gold smuggling case. The actor has to cough up that amount as fine. If not, she will be served a notice. And you do know that she was caught smuggling nearly 127 kgs of gold. Now, how much has she gotten over the years, we don't know. But at that one point that she was caught, she's still in prison serving time as the case is currently in court. She's been asked to give 102 crores in compensation. Bengaluru court rejects bail plea of Pavitra Gowda and Renuka Swamy murder case. Trial court dismisses Gowda's technical grounds argument. Prison authorities seek Darshan's transfer as SC revokes his bail citing judicial misuse. BRS chief in Telangana and ex-Telangana Chief Minister Chandrasekhar Rao has taken a drastic step, suspending his daughter and party MLC K. Kavita from his own party. This comes a day after Kavita's public outburst against senior leaders. In fact, also claims are that she wasn't happy, or at least she claims that BRS was gravitating to the BJP and she does not approve the duo's partnership. Sexual assault case against Congress MLA Rahul Mamkuttattil. Crime branch gets crucial leads. Reports allege 2 women underwent abortion in Bengaluru under MLA's coercion. Crime branch probes hospital records complainant statements to see if they were pushed or pressurized to abort. A second earthquake, magnitude 5.2, has hit eastern Afghanistan, compounding the humanitarian crisis just a day after the powerful tremor killed 1,400 people and injured thousands. All right, let me start with Prime Minister Modi's rally in Bihar with an emotional pitch that he started off. Right ahead of elections, how far will that resonate with the people of Bihar? Bihar votes in less than 2 months and the political stage is already on fire. Prime Minister Narendra Modi in Bihar today launched a scathing attack on the Congress, the RJD alliance, calling out what he described as GAALI politics. Modi grew visibly emotional while speaking as he addressed a rally in Bihar for the first time in a long time. In fact, he's spoken about the controversy around abuses that were hurled against him from the stage of Rahul and Tejasvi when they were having that voter Adhikar Yatra on that very stage. Once the leaders were gone, the others within the party and supporters there began abusing Prime Minister Modi with all sorts of vulgar words. And that a case was booked against, that man was arrested as well. Prime Minister Modi says even if he really musters the courage to forgive, the people of Bihar will not forgive. Those who insulted his mother, they will be pulled up, he says, on that stage. One Congress worker was arrested, but here's Prime Minister Modi evoking emotion while speaking about his mother on the Bihar stage.
मेरी उस मां को जिसका राजनीति से कोई लेना देना नहीं, जिसका शरीर भी अब नहीं है, मेरी उस मां को आरजेडी कांग्रेस के मंच से भद्दी भद्दी गालियां दी गई। माताएं बहनें, मैं देख रहा हूं आपके चेहरे, आपको भी कितना दर्द हुआ होगा। मुझे मां भारती की सेवा करनी थी, इसलिए मुझे जन्म देने वाली मेरी मां ने मुझे अपने दायित्वों से मुक्त कर दिया था और मां ने मुझे आशीर्वाद दिया कि बेटा जाओ, देश की करोड़ों माताओं की सेवा करना। और इसलिए मुझे आज इस बात की पीड़ा है कि जिस मां ने मुझे देश सेवा का आशीर्वाद देकर देश सेवा के लिए रवाना किया, भेजा। हर मां चाहती है कि उसका बेटा उसकी सेवा करे। हर मां चाहती है कि बेटा बड़ा हो, मां के लिए कुछ न कुछ करता रहे। लेकिन मेरी मां ने खुद के लिए नहीं, आप जैसी करोड़ों माताओं की मैं सेवा कर सकूं, इसलिए खुद से अलग करके मुझे जाने की इजाजत दी। मां ही तो हमारा संसार होती है, मां ही हमारा स्वाभिमान होती है। इस समृद्ध परंपरा वाले बिहार में कुछ दिन पहले जो हुआ, उसकी मैंने कभी कल्पना तक नहीं की थी। किसी बिहार के मेरे भाई बहन ने कल्पना नहीं की होगी, हिंदुस्तान के किसी व्यक्ति ने कल्पना नहीं की होगी। बिहार में आरजेडी कांग्रेस के मंच से मेरी मां को गालियां दी गई। ये गालियां सिर्फ मेरी मां का अपमान नहीं है, ये देश की मां, बहन, बेटी का अपमान है। मुझे पता है आप सबको भी, बिहार की हर मां को, बिहार की हर बेटी को, बिहार के हर भाई को ये देख सुनकर कितना बुरा लगा है। मैं जानता हूं इसकी जितनी पीड़ा मेरे दिल में है, उतनी ही तकलीफ मेरे बिहार के लोगों को भी है।
Well, quite an emotional pitch there by Prime Minister Modi. He says that his mother had nothing to do with politics. She sacrificed a lot to raise him through poverty, distanced herself from him so that he could get into public life and serve the nation. And yet his mother is being abused. He says that people of Bihar, the sisters, the mothers of Bihar, will not forgive those who've said what they said. Now, you know, this isn't new. Over the years, opponents have called Modi multiple names. Maut ka Saudagar, Ravan, Nali ka Keeda. The BJP too has used harsh words for Sonia Gandhi. They've called Sonia Gandhi Vish Kanya and China's agent. Those are the words used for Sonia Gandhi. And let's not forget, Pappu for Rahul Gandhi remains a fixture, of course, christened by the BJP. The opposition responds to Prime Minister Modi for him evoking his mother, accusing Modi of trying to fan emotions in the name of his mother, saying that he's using his mother as a shield, diverting attention from governance and making this emotional pitch. And people aren't buying it. That's what the opposition says. RJD has slammed Prime Minister Modi for turning personal pain into political capital. Now, here's a look at some of the visuals there of Congress and RJD's Voter Adhikar Yatra. A huge gathering there on the final day that concluded. Lakhs of them who landed up. Now, whether this is really going to turn into votes for the RJD Congress coalition, we've got to wait and watch. But seems like the political stage at this point heating up in how? Elections closing in, the war of words, of course, only intensifying, social media amplifying every insult, dragging political debate away from actual issues. Now, in the latest, we also know TMC's Mahua Moitra has been booked for the remarks that she made on Home Minister Amit Shah. Is this really new normal now for Indian politics? Abuse replacing actual argument? Let me bring in our panelists on board. Joining me is KV Prasad, senior journalist. We also have Manish Bariyar, spokesperson of the BJP, and Dr. Pooja Tripathi, spokesperson of the Congress. Thank you all of you for taking your time. Let me start with Dr. Pooja Tripathi, the spokesperson of the Congress. Since you've heard what Prime Minister Modi said, he spoke extensively about his mother being abused, and it's not pleasant for anyone, a BJP, someone who may not even like Prime Minister Modi or the BJP, looking at what he said today, may just strike a chord. One's mother being abused, I don't think any Indian would like it. How would you receive it? The statement he made.
Nobody's mother deserves to be abused. No woman deserves to be abused. And we have aptly made it clear that we have criticized it. A lunatic man, in our press conference, Akhilesh Prasad Singh told that he's a mentally unstable man. And we want Bihar government to have arrested this Mohammad Rizvi, if I'm not pronouncing his name wrong. Yes, they should come out and clear who is he? Why was he there in a stage when he has no association with the Congress? And this was a stage where not even Rahul Gandhi.
The mic, he had the mic, he had the stage. I mean, can anybody just walk up to the stage?
He's a lunatic. He's a mentally unstable person who runs a cycle shop in Darbhanga. He went on stage, abused, and we are asking, give him the strictest punishment. But let me tell you, isn't it demeaning for a prime minister to use it as a political gain, saying, "Meri maa ne mujhe bahut mushkilon se paala hai." Your mother is usually respected. So is Rahul Gandhi's mother, whom you called Jersey guy and whom you called Congress की विधवा, जिसके खाते में पैसा जाता था, इनकी सबसे बड़ी नेता इलेक्शन से भाग जाएगी. So is Sunanda Pushkar should be respected when she was called a 50 crore ki girlfriend. So is any woman should be respected, and that's where when a strictest punishment is taken against this Mohammad Rizvi, why doesn't this punishment goes on to the BJP leaders? Prime Minister Modi said ye pura vipaksh ka jawab tha.
Who has been let off in your view? Which BJP leader has said something that has been distasteful? Anybody that you feel has gotten scot-free, gotten off without being pulled up?
Nishikant Dubey, at the floor of Parliament, he went on to say Mahua Moitra and Deepika Pandey Singh, both elected legislatures, Vaishali ki Nagar Vadhu, which we all means prostitutes. And then a few days back, Ramesh Biduri called her Chinar. So if Mahua Moitra can be booked for a comment against Amit Shah ji, so should Ramesh Biduri be booked, so should Nishikant Dubey be booked. The problem here, I want to tell you, Nabila, is nowhere in last 11 years, we have seen Mrs. Gandhi, we have seen Rahul Gandhi, we have seen the Gandhi family at the receiving end of abuses, slurs and deplorable language. Anytime, you point me one political rally, you point me one political address where they have gone on the stage and said, मुझे गाली दी, मैं तो शहीद की विधवा हूँ, मैं तो यहाँ पर शादी करके आई थी, क्या मुझे गाली दी? Nobody does that. Nobody except Prime Minister does that. If Bihar wants to repent for every mother, माँ, बहू और बेटी, जिन लोगों को नंगा घुमाया गया था मणिपुर में, वो भी किसी की माँ, बहन और बेटी थी. But Prime Minister didn't shed tears for that. And very huge respect, our Congress spokesperson, national spokesperson Suresh Rajput's mother was abused on live TV by a national spokesperson of BJP, and no action was taken. In the same language that lunatic used against Prime Minister, and I'm saying he should be having harshest punishment, but where does the buck stops? Why is our politics being deemed into calling somebody Shahzada, somebody Pappu, somebody Congress ki Vidwa? Is this kind of politics we would be giving to our future generations? Is this kind of politics so sexist?
And you can't, I mean, of course, you're saying that the BJP has also done it in the past, but that doesn't give you a free pass to also abuse, no? So it's both ways.
It's not in Congress.
It's both ways. All right. If you had shown decorum, then you can expect decorum from the other side. But just a quick word. We hear you. We hear you. Manish Bariyar, Dr. Pooja Tripathi has spoken at length. She's mentioned particularly cases, quoting cases and quoting names on people within the BJP who have abused and gotten away. So what moral standing does the BJP have?
No. Abuses of all kind are not welcome. But then she has to understand. I hope she understands that if somebody is in public life, then during elections, there are words that are spoken. But to bring mother of Prime Minister, who's not a leader, so when she complained about Sonia Gandhi or for others, they are in public life and they've been contesting elections. They have been saying things. So they got back. But here is a very different case. And I think instead of apologizing, she is kind of again going back and defending. But anyway, that's the culture of Congress. They have done so many things. But if they start apologizing, I think their life would end. Right? They won't be able to really stand what's happening out there. So it is very shameful. But then we don't expect anything better from Congress and from RJD. I'm sure that's why RJD, spokesperson has not come, because they also understand the degree at which this abuse was hurled and the kind of abuse it was hurled. This is in, I don't know if, I don't think she's from Bihar, but if you know Bihar very well, for these kind of insults, and you can ask any of the leaders from Congress and RJD, they would, go to the extent of killing people. That's the kind of abuse it is. It is considered, I can't say anything else except the fact that I think what happened in Bihar is not about Modi ji's alone. It's about the mentality of Congress and RJD that insults mothers and daughters. Every woman in Bihar will give befitting reply to this kind of an arrogance. That is what I can say. It is indefensible. I think one line apology and one line admitting that this kind of a line should not be crossed. And especially when Mr. Tejasvi Yadav and Rahul Gandhi was there on stage, I don't think that kind of security, anybody and everyone can come to the stage and then speak.
No, but we're looking at a rally that had absolutely no barriers. If you could play those visuals of the rally there, you can see just about anybody and everybody around.
Not possible, Nabila ji. Not possible. Rahul Gandhi is under the kind of security that it is absolutely not possible. Even Mr. Tejasvi Yadav. So, if Pappu Yadav is not allowed to be on stage, if Kanhaiya Kumar is not allowed on stage or on this thing, so you can imagine how anybody can just come there and
look at the conclusion, the end of the rally. If we can show the voter Adhikar rally that ended, some lakhs of people had gathered there. Does it bother you, sir?
Absolutely not. So first I'll correct you. It was not lakhs of people. It was between 10 to 12,000 people who came. Bihar has 243 constituencies, and and there are 7 to 8 lakh villages. So if you even if one person comes from one village, you can understand how many people will come up. Now you do the calculation. So 10 to 15,000 people, and these are all ticket aspirants. So from one constituency, even 20 people come as
all
a
of these are ticket
aspirant, and with
aspirants.
them, there are 10 more people. You will find 10 to 15,000 people during elections. It's not a big deal as such. And these kind of, a crowd doesn't mean anything except inconvenience. I would rather say it was so inconvenient to the people of Patna. They were actually very, very sad on this, because the whole one day, Monday was really, so that shows the kind of insensitivity which, the leaders have.
Okay. All right, let me bring in KV Prasad. We're looking at visuals of this nature, Mr. Prasad. A huge gathering at the Voter Adhikar Yatra as it ended. These are visuals of last night when it concluded. And in the last 24 hours, you had Prime Minister Modi landing in Bihar, speaking on that stage, making this emotional pitch to the voters of Bihar, raking up what abuse was hurled against him, and speaking extensively on it, about his mother, about RJD and Congress abusing his mother. This emotional pitch that he's presented on that stage, do you think it'll strike a chord with the voters, the women voters in Bihar? Because he says, even if I don't forgive them, I know you as women will not forgive them.
Well, there certainly seems to be a first and foremost, I think what I feel is very unfortunate is the fact that the kind of slide in the political discourse, in public discourses, in political rallies, that we noticed this in the last decade plus, that has been even before that, of course. But the level at which it is going down, it's very unfortunate, because there is a very important point that has been said here and elsewhere too, that trying to restore some kind of a civility in our discourse. That's important, because otherwise there's going to be no end. We have to look at it. I mean, I've covered election rallies of 40 years plus, seen tallest leaders of this country talking about their opponents, but in a very dignified manner. Even though there was a political rhetoric, political sharp attacks, political barbs were exchanged, but it was not a personal. Of course, the BG spokesperson.
Are you saying this has changed? It's changed for the worse?
It's going to, I mean, in the last decades, it has not improved at all. Please. I mean, you narrated several instances now. The Congress spokesperson narrated, the BJP spokesperson narrated some instances. That only shows the slide that's going in. And unless leadership at the top collectively work to improve this kind of discourse, I mean, as it goes down, as it percolates down, this is going to worsen. I mean, is this the kind of polity that this leadership of any party would like to build?
Yeah.
Is that the way? I mean, I'm concerned that as a journalist.
How do you think political parties should respond to something like this? Because per se, Prime Minister Modi hasn't spoken vulgar. Particularly Rahul Gandhi or Sonia Gandhi have not spoken vulgar. Their party mates, team members, they cross the line. How do you think a political party should deal with a situation like this while they disapprove of the
party has to deal with it. You see, you have to draw a political line. See, being in politics, you will always have an opponent. It's a political opponent. See, because your ideas don't match, that's where in the
correct. But when you're already breeding hate within about a prime minister, against a prime minister, how do you tell your people ensure that hate is within boundaries? Don't abuse. And what do you do with this phrase?
The point is, listen, what the attack on Prime Minister or his public office or the public office of Congress President or whatever is a different political review, as the BJP spokesperson did put it. But the question is, dragging family members who have nothing to do with politics is what probably the Prime Minister is hinting at. And of course, he's also made a point that he may like to forget it and move on in his life as accept it as a statesman. But probably left it to the mood of the people of Bihar.
Yeah, that was my clear question to you. What do you think will the mood of Bihar
be? Well, that's something which is far away, because there are two aspects. I've been hearing debates on this issue in several other places today. The Congress and the RJD are saying that this is attention. This is something because the Adhikar rally has really generated a lot of buzz. If not, I don't know how it will translate into votes, or does not translate into votes. So these are issues that we need to, as a political watcher, we just keep watching all this. We know, as I said, my concern is not this tutu meme has to be, there has to be a line that has to be drawn, because you have to set high standards for the future generations too, please.
All right. Well, we're looking at clearly here political stage in Bihar heating up. A final word, Dr. Pooja. Your take on the voter Adhikar Yatra and its culmination. What's the mood and sentiment in Bihar? You want to give us in a nutshell?
So I want to tell you the voter Adhikar Yatra was a massive success. It started as an electoral march for electoral democracy, but it turned into people's movement. They traveled.
But the Supreme Court wasn't party to it. The Supreme Court disagreed with a lot of accusations. In fact, has not even given an extension.
So when we have, look at just one example, for multiple examples, a very abandoned home in Katihar has 197 people enrolled in it. When election commissioner goes on to say that लोग रात में कहीं सोने तो आते हैं, he meant to say 197 people का वहाँ पे सोने आते हैं जो घर बुधा है और उतने दिनों से बंद है. So we are saying there were multiple, and when they also in various media channels and debates I've been attending, they were said that किसी political party ने objection नहीं किया. We made 89 lakh objections to election commissioner of Bihar from with help of our booth level agents, and that's where you go on to say कि किसी ने किया ही नहीं है. जब हम complaint करने जाती है उसे individual करेगा. So barring what Supreme Court has said, Supreme Court has asked them to follow Aadhaar. Supreme Court has asked them to make list of 65 lakh people, and that's where we see 23 out of 43 constituencies, 70% of their deleted voters are women. This is massive disenfranchisement of marginalized of women, and that's what our worry is, and that's what the voter adhikar yatra is. And I'll start naming, and there have been multiple lacuna, multiple voter IDs. 23,000 booths have some double epic casts, things like that, and that's cleaning the electoral roll shouldn't target a community, and that's where we have seen the highest deletion that comes from an SC reserved constituency.
Okay,
and that's
Manish,
what the whole.
Manish, the opposition is coming with a whole host of issues. They have so much to slam the government about. The BJP has been a junior partner for nearly 13 years. What's your campaign pitch? Is it victimhood? From what Prime Minister Modi said on that stage, he established that he's very hurt because his mother was abused. And the opposition says this is victimhood politics because you have nothing to boast about in terms of governance.
No, I take strong objection to this entire thing when somebody calls about victimhood. Even, I would not ascribe to you, but then you also thought that it is emotional pitch. No, right? The person is suffering. So this is trivializing something very serious. I'm telling you, had it happened to somebody else in Bihar, that person would have got killed. This is taken very, very seriously. So you're not understanding the import of what's happening. It's happened to our Prime Minister of this country. His respect is there. Isn't it? So, trivializing such thing is something which is, in fact, people are very angry. So, one has to understand. And then also talking in such a trivial
it's
manner
absolutely inappropriate. Just be sure that none of them are advocating for this.
Let's not trivialize this thing.
It's
right? When it comes to
absolutely
oneself,
inappropriate.
then one can
It should
understand the
be
feeling.
heavily condemned. But should this be your large pitch? Is this going to be your large pitch running up to Bihar polls?
I would say it's not even a pitch. Right, this is something which is about the respect of women, respect of the country, of the Prime Minister, and why should we call in that matter a pitch? It's not. There are so much development has happened that, RJD and Congress can't even dream of that. 20 years back, what Bihar was, asked Mr. Prasad, what kind of jungle Raj we keep saying, but then what jungle Raj is, Dr. Pooja has to come in Bihar and go and speak to the people and experience what it was. It is shame that Congress is in the same bed with RJD, right, a party of goons. They're not there to defend because they can't defend it. And that itself is such a strange thing that Congress is with a party of goons. Right?
Okay,
so
we
if
heard
I
you.
start speaking on that, it's not going to end. And also, double epic number, she has to go and ask her boss, Pawan Khera ji, what double epic number is.
Oh yes, it was such an embarrassment, Pooja. Today, Pawan Khera has been pulled up. A notice has been sent to him as well. He has 2 voter IDs, we hear. Now, how is he going to prove himself innocent? It could very well discredit your whole voter adhikar rally.
These are all fraud people.
So Pawan Khera has sent it. Let me answer it for my media chairman. Please, let me...
Quickly, I apologize, but there's barely 30 seconds I have.
So Pawan Khera has given an application to Election Commission in 2006 and 7 because he changed his address and to delete his voter ID. And the Election Commission has it. It's not our duty to go and delete it. And we really want the CCTV. Has somebody been using Pawan Khera's other epic number, other voter ID to vote for BJP? We want to see
all right. We heard you. We'll see how that case goes. But I appreciate all of you joining us. Manish Bariyar, KV Prasad and Dr. Pooja. Thank you so much. A quick break. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
This is nothing. My score has 5 stars. तेरे को पता है मेरी स्कोर ना ऑटोमेटिक है और वो भी 7 स्पीड. कुछ भी. Hello guys. My Skoda can fly to Jupiter like a rocket.
Skoda. ये बेस्ट है सर।
हमेशा वाला क्यों नहीं?
मिश्रा जी, आपके लिए फूलों की बरसात, बिरला ओपस एश्योरेंस देने के लिए।
मतलब प्रोडक्ट वारंटी?
ये एक्स्ट्रा है। 1 साल में पेंट को कुछ भी हुआ तो पेंटिंग वापस करके देंगे।
वापस करके देंगे?
वो भी फ्री। पेंटिंग में पहली बार बिरला ओपस एश्योरेंस। रजिस्टर करो birlaopus.com पर।
The power of Digi-Alkaline from Nippo Thor.
Go condoms?
It's over there.
क्या ये डिफरेंट साइजेस में आता है?
Actually, sir, size matter नहीं करता.
तो फिर क्या मैटर करता है?
The hardness
Of the condom.
of what's inside.
For the first time ever, presenting Hard Rock Gel.
अब फ्री हर स्कोर कॉन्डम्स के 10 पैक के साथ.
Being a chef, it's my priority to deliver taste in a plate with good presentation, unique innovation. You need to explore, you need to experiment.
You observe the people, make them happy, make them feel happy, and in the end you are smiling. That's the most important thing.
With Lounge Nights, I'm on a journey to celebrate and recognize the best food and nightlife establishments in various cities across India.
All right, let me come across to Gurugram. We're looking at Gurugram that was once envisioned to declog Delhi. Today, Gurugram is that very choke point. Unfortunately, we're looking at a model city that Gurugram is supposed to be that's turned into a real mess. A city that was meant to actually decongest Delhi has turned into a real choke point in itself. Imagine apartments in Gurugram cost up to 10, 50, even 100 crores. Apartments, I'm not even speaking about villas and whatnot. It's called the India's Millennium City and it powers tech giants and MNCs, but it sinks with minimum rainfall. Just one spell of rain is enough for Gurugram to be fully exposed. We're looking at roads outside these glass towers, luxury condos and corporate corridors fully collapse. We're looking at visuals here in the last 24 hours of traffic jams in Gurugram that's become headlines all over the globe. Visuals of these traffic jams that went on to up to 20 kilometers we hear for 6 hours has become news because of rains that hit Gurugram in just one day. Imagine bare minimum rainfall and Gurugram can't bear the heat. Few weeks now that Gurugram has been really raining owing to heavy rainfall. We're looking at cars submerged, subways are choked, commuters stranded for 6 to 8 hours, and this so-called smart city is reduced to a waterlogged mess. Let me remind you, Gurugram is not a natural disaster. It's completely man-made. It's built in haste, without drainage, without planning, without accountability. Natural ponds and rivulets that once existed, that absorbed all the rain, are now completely built over. Haphazard, ad hoc construction that's happened across Gurugram that's led to this. Stormwater drains, where they do exist, are all fully clogged and they carry sewage and all sorts of garbage with it. So it's just blocking at every point where there is a stormwater drain. Obvious questions being asked as to why isn't the civic authority in Gurugram competent enough? Well, for those who do not know Gurugram enough, let me tell you, the city does not even have a proper civic body that governs whole of Gurugram. It's governed in fragments. In fact, Gurugram is part governed by private developers who oversee their own townships. Part the municipal corporation controls. The other area is the Haryana Urban Development Authority controls. The other area, the Gurugram Metropolitan Development Authority controls. So there's not one body that's fully in charge. And therefore, it's very easy for them to pass the buck. The result, every monsoon, Gurugram, meant to be India's answer to global hub, becomes a swamp. Dengue outbreak, garbage heaps, clogged basements, stranded commuters on the expressway. The city has really turned into a classic show of urban failure. Imagine this visual. Just a day ago of 100 mm rain that hit Gurugram. I'm showing you the traffic visuals yet again. The Delhi-Jaipur road came to a complete standstill. If you see the traffic, it was 20-kilometer long traffic. We are playing that visual out for you yet again of Gurgaon's choke points, that 20-kilometer traffic in that entire stretch. Can we have those visuals? Yeah, there you have it on our screens. The Delhi-Jaipur road, that is particularly, that's come to a full standstill after commuters were stranded for nearly 6 hours, we hear, to get to their destination. In fact, many of them did not even find cabs. And some of them, some office goers who wanted to get back home, ended up booking porters to carry them, in fact, across these flooded stretches. In fact, some of them, many of them tried to book cabs. It did not show up, and a whole bunch of office professionals from Gurgaon booked a porter, and all of them got into that truck, that mini truck that actually had the potential to go over those flooded roads. So that's what Gurgaon has come down to. They're piling onto mini trucks, IT professionals, clinging onto the roof of those mini trucks only to get a ride back home. This is Gurgaon today, the IT hub of India, world headquarters for Google. In fact, the best of offices, the biggest of companies housed in Gurgaon, including Google, Microsoft, Apple, IBM, yet a sinking city where the price of poor planning is paid by its own residents. I'm going to bring in our panelists to give us a little sense as to why this has failed so miserably and so soon. I'm joined in by Dr. P.S. Rana, former CMD, Housing and Urban Development Corporation Limited, HUDCO. We also have Dr. P.S.N. Rao, Dean, School of Planning and Architecture, and Major General Dr. Yash Moore, Gurgaon resident and environmentalist. I really appreciate all of you being part of this, and I will straight first go to the resident of Gurgaon, Major General Yash Moore. How does it feel to be living in Gurgaon? Did you think Gurgaon would be a nice place to retire for yourself? And what has it turned out to be?
That's what I thought, about 6 years back, 5-6 years back when I retired. And the situation is going from bad to worse. Now you're talking of waterlogging, but this is minor. It will go in 2-3 days. The traffic is the worst traffic possible in India, and the world is in Gurgaon.
Yeah.
Every corner you have a liquor vent, but you have no place to go because the way it has been planned. It has been actually, I think this must be, if somebody investigates over last 30 years, 25-30 years, all the people who have been involved in planning of Gurgaon, you'll find probably the biggest scam of all, because they've just given away plots of land to private builders.
I hear. And the builder mafia is very active there as well. So a lot of land has been encroached.
Builder, politician and bureaucracy. This is a deadly combination, and they have actually urban planning का मुझे अफसोस हो रहा है to tell you this on your channel, because I make a lot of videos. I am a cyclist also. I cycle and I see the garbage, the stray cattle, broken roads. It's terrible, really terrible. And this is, I live in a reasonably better area, Sector 50, South City 2. People tell me, come to our village side, come to other sectors. The whole of Gurgaon is sinking. It's an international shame. And it is all because of the nexus between the politicians, the bureaucrats, the councillors.
No, what a shame, and this has become a whole political flashpoint, because you have fingers pointed at the BJP government saying you've ruled there for 13 years, but you couldn't clear this mess, this whole triple engine that you're talking about. Ideally, Gurgaon is an extension of Delhi. It was supposed to declog Delhi, and the city came up, opening it up to big IT giants, so that the offices and all of that is moved from Delhi to Gurgaon, and it declogs Delhi. But now it's become the real menace. Even Delhiites aren't able to find space within their own city. The Gurgaon traffic comes all the way into Delhi, and it's stuck. It's stalled for hours. Yeah.
This is every day. Reaching airport, you have to start praying whether you'll reach in time or not, any time of day or night.
In fact, we are playing out some visuals of what you've shot. You've shot some visuals there on our screens. We're showing our viewers of how garbage is just strewn. You have no wonder stormwater drains are completely clogged. With all that stormwater, also sewage is going into it. There's so much garbage that's getting into these stormwater drains, and that's the result of clogging. Isn't that basic civic sense that the civic authorities can fix? How are they being so?
See, when I started this as a responsible citizen, on my cycling, whatever I see, small little clips on Twitter and my Instagram handle, I got a call from top officials sir, we are doing everything, dekh lena aap, and we know you very well. So I lied low for 15-20 days thinking there'll be good response. But situation is going back to worse.
Yeah.
I think they're incapable of doing it. Totally collapsed, civil, and I think the Chief Minister of Haryana must come and camp in Gurgaon or send a senior minister here for 30 days and do it on a mission mode like the army does it, something like that. Otherwise we are staring at
embarrassing that we saw some foreigners, actually foreigners in Gurgaon got down to cleaning garbage, and that video also became so viral, but that hasn't deterred us. We still continue to dump garbage. Civic authorities still continue to turn a blind eye. Dr. P.S. Rana, your take on what we see here, a big mess in Gurgaon, and now it can't even be reversed because that's that much investment that's gone into this millennium city. The biggest tech giants who are there, and all the rich elite are now living in Gurgaon. They paid 100 crores for apartments there. So there's no going back, but is there a solution?
Yes, there are solutions, and problems you have discussed and the General has discussed in very detail. And I do agree that these are the problems, but solutions are also there. We have to do it. As far as the flooding is concerned, as you rightly said, all the drains are clogged. So there is no flow. But for the transport, it starts from the bed planning itself. So the main expressway or highway, whatever we call it, actually it is also being used as a local road because we have not built up the parallel service roads, two-way roads, because we need parallel two-way roads on either side to take care of the local traffic. Now, even to go from A point to B point, we have to cross the other side of the highway, and then the side roads being one way, they don't relieve the highway. Secondly, we don't plan as a network. Say, even along the golf course road, as we say, the prime one, even the service roads are they are not through and through. So many blocks in between. So you can't plan the traffic. And second part, even say a parallel road, the only parallel road to the highway is the old Gurgaon road. It is totally encroached and the movement of the vehicle is very difficult. And though so many multi-story buildings and complexes have come on the old Gurgaon road also. So I think we have to take the total network planning and parallel so that the nature of the road, if it is the highway, it should take care of the highway traffic. If it is the local road, it should take care of, so planning is lacking. And then because of the bad planning, the enforcement is further confused. The policemen keep on hit and trial method of putting temporary barricades every here and there. So if there is a good planning, why so many temporary barricades?
No, we've understood that the planning is not good, and maybe Dr. P.S.N. Rao could shed some light on that. Sir Rao, your take on what we see in Gurgaon. We're looking at unchecked construction that's just, spread across Gurgaon, and I'm shocked to know that the authorities there turned a blind eye for a lot of construction violations. They've built over stormwater drains or mini rivulets, and now I'm sure there's no going back from there. But from what we fear with the way waterlogging is happening in Gurgaon, it could really pose a lot of threat to the structures itself over the years.
Yeah, I think we need to first understand the model of urban development in Gurgaon, which is very, very different from that of some other cities. For example, Greater Noida or maybe Chandigarh, where the entire land parcel has been acquired in one go, and there has been an integrated planning and integrated development, integrated implementation of the entire plan. Gurgaon is a classic example of an overgrown village. Things have happened in bits and pieces. It's a clear case of hodgepodge development. There is the legislation of the 70s which permits what is called licensed colonizers to operate, and they have been operating here in Gurgaon, and obviously for reasons that we all know, because there is a shortage in Delhi and therefore real estate has to come up in Gurugram. And in this public-private partnership, the government has been giving licenses to all the licensed colonizers, and that's how all these patches of private developer colonies have come about at several places. Only some parts of Gurgaon you have planned sectors where there is some semblance of an infrastructure that's available there. There's a semblance of planning that is there, but otherwise there is A developer, B developer, C developer. There are 300 odd developers, and there are maybe 1,000 projects all over the place, and each of these has its own internal infrastructure, not connected to a proper network or a fabric of external infrastructure.
Correct.
So it is clearly a few hundred projects of a few hundred developers into something that we are trying to assemble and call it a city. So it's a very, very peculiar example of urban development, and clearly it has not worked. My understanding is that money is not a shortage. Developers do collect what is called an external development charge. In fact, now the Haryana government has also introduced another charge which is called an infrastructure charge. So developers do collect it from the apartment buyers. That money is deposited in the Haryana government, and I am told that this money is actually being diverted. So it's not only that drains are choked, drains are just not there in many places. Most of the roads just don't have the drainage that needs to be there. So where is all this water going to go?
So if in that case, if even if the civic authorities collect all the garbage and clear the drains, the limited drains are not enough, you say?
Absolutely, you need to build a whole network of drainage system. And where is all this water going to be finally drained out to? Because there are a couple of nalas. It's not that nothing has been done. There is a nala where a large number of these corporates, I'll not mention their names, they've all done a lot of CSR and they're trying to revive the nalas and so on. But that is just the tip of the iceberg. I mean, you need to do a hell of a lot. So unless you have a properly planned drainage network, and where do you take all this water from? We are nowhere close to solving this problem. It's a very serious problem.
Would you call for a united civic authority, one civic body that kind of governs entire Gurgaon instead of it being looked after in fragments?
The problem is that you have HSVP, you have GMDA, you have the Nagar Nigam, and then you have the developers who are doing their own stuff, and then you have the urban villages.
So no single authority.
Unauthorized. Absolutely. So it's a complete governance mess. It's an urban governance problem more than a planning problem.
Sir Rana, you have a point to make?
Yeah. The GMDA should be given the responsibility of overall planning. The execution can be done by different bodies.
Right.
But the overall integrated planning should be taken care by the GMDA, because they are supposed to have the overall macro view.
Right. Okay. All right. As I'm short on time, I really appreciate all of you joining us here. All points taken. I hope it's considered. I hope someone's listening. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. Let me cut across to all our top story on day tonight. Let me start with Maharashtra's Maratha quota row. It's finally come to an end. Manoj Jarange Patil has ended his indefinite fast. Breakthrough in Maharashtra's Maratha quota stir. Activist Manoj Jarange Patil has finally ended that hunger strike after the government gave key assurances to him and the community. Cabinet ministers met Jarange Patil on stage as well, promising full implementation of the Gazette and action on his demands. Minister Shivendra Raje Bhosle assured that the Satara Gazette, which so categorizes Maratha, Hyderabad Gazette, formally granting Marathas quota status in Marathwada and recognizing Marathas and Kunbis as the same community. Jarange Patil called this his victory and ended his protest at Azad Maidan after 120 hours. The government has now agreed to implement the Hyderabad Gazette, to issue Kunbi caste certificates, also to decide on the Satara Gazette within a month and withdraw cases against Maratha protesters by September end, and compensate families for those who died during the agitation. Jarange had been demanding Kunbi certificates for all Marathas so the community can avail OBC quota benefits. His fast lasted 5 days from August 29 to September 2nd. In fact, the Bombay High Court had also ordered the Maharashtra government to clear out the Azad Maidan because it was leading to huge protests in Mumbai. But even before that could happen, it seems like the Maharashtra government has struck a deal with him.
इसमें जो प्रमुख मांग थी हैदराबाद गैजेटियर लागू करना, उसका जीआर आज निकाला गया है और जीआर के अनुसार गांव और कुल जो है उसमें किसी भी व्यक्ति का कुंभी प्रमाण पत्र हो तो उस आधार पर जो अर्जी करेगा कि वो एफिडेविट देगा कि मुझे कुंभी प्रमाण पत्र मिलना चाहिए, उसे एक त्रिसदस्यीय कमेटी गठित की गई हुई है। प्रमाण पत्र देने की पद्धति जो है बहुत ही सरल हो और सुलभ हो, इसका विशेष रूप से इसमें ध्यान रखा गया है।
All right there. Now let me cut across to Bengaluru. Bengaluru now has a new civic body, the Greater Bengaluru Authority. With this, the BBMP officially ceases to exist in Bengaluru. But before BBMP bowed out, the city's old corporation delivered one last hard-hitting move. On its final day, the BBMP served notices to nearly 2.75 lakh property tax defaulters across the city, with dues piling up to nearly 787 crores. Special Commissioner of Revenue Manish Mudgil described them as chronic defaulters who have never paid their taxes. So notices were sent out to them on the last day of the BBMP's functioning. Now he warned that this is not going to be spared. If at all these people don't pay up their property tax, then their property will be attached. By letting them off, we do gross injustice to honest taxpayers. This is what he said. Officials point out that this list wasn't drawn up casually. Defaulters were in fact identified through satellite data, drone surveys, records from BESCOM and BWSSB was collected, and field inspection was done, and only then notices were served to all those 2.75 lakh people after repeated calls and SMS alerts were ignored. This is what the officials say. The law is firmly on the civic body side, of course. Non-payment of property tax for 2 consecutive years allows for a 100% penalty, 15% annual interest, and even seizure of movable and immovable assets. Now, starting September 2nd, Bengaluru undergoes a major administrative shift. That's the Greater Bengaluru Governance Act has come into effect. GBA will now replace BBMP. The city will now be managed by 5 independent city corporations under the newly formed Greater Bengaluru Authority. GBA has already identified offices we hear and has carved the city into 10 zones for streamlined administration. Key departments like health, education, revenue and finance will all now function directly under the GBA entity. The governance structure brings in 3 IAS officers serving as special commissioners, all reporting to a chief commissioner of principal secretary rank. And this chief commissioner, appointed for 3 years, will also serve as the district election officer for the region. So, coming into effect, a new civic body in Karnataka's Bengaluru, and its first very assignment, the GBA will follow up on these tax recovery notices. Property tax will be collected, ensuring that Bengaluru's long list of defaulters finally face the law. All right, let me cut across to a very sad and a bizarre story. The most bizarre and heartbreaking way to lose a life. A software engineer in Bengaluru died after a venomous viper snake hid inside his Crocs, his slippers. 41-year-old TCS employee Manju Prakash stepped out to buy something in a nearby shop, leaving his Crocs outside. When he returned and slipped his foot into that slipper, a snake that had already coiled itself inside bit him. Now, because of an old accident we hear, he had reduced sensation on one leg, and that was the leg that snake bit him on. Manju did not even realize it. He went inside to rest. He got home, he went inside to rest, and unaware that the viper snake had already bit him and that poison was spreading across his body. Moments later, his family spotted the snake outside near his slipper, and that snake was dead. So and it could have died out of suffocation because he had pushed his leg inside the croc enough for the snake to die, and that's when it bit him. Now, they rushed Manju to the hospital, but it was too late. Doctors declared him dead. The viper is one of the deadliest snakes found in India. Its bite can be fatal within minutes. This is certainly tragedy there, shaking the residents, reminding everyone to stay alert, especially during monsoons. You have these creepy crawlies, snakes, reptiles, all sorts of things that could enter your homes, your footwear. So keep a check before you step in, but rest in peace. Now, a very sad story on Onam festivities at Kerala's assembly turned into tragedy. What began as a vibrant cultural performance ended in grief after a staffer suddenly collapsed on stage. 45-year-old Junes, the assembly's deputy librarian in Kerala, was in the middle of a group dance when he fell right in the middle of that dance. At first, colleagues thought that he had just stumbled during the steps, or he was basically doing another part in that dance, but he did not get up. Panic set in. He was immediately rushed to the assembly's ambulance to the general hospital, but despite all efforts, doctors declared him dead on arrival. The shock rippled through the assembly, where celebrations were called off immediately. Junes was more than just a staffer. He was a familiar face at every assembly cultural event. His enthusiasm and spirit always will be remembered. He also once served as personal assistant to former MLA PV Anwar. So a man who was quite popular and was very much liked. This is truly tragic. Doctors later cautioned that sudden cardiac arrests during exertion are on the rise, often striking without warning. And he was barely 45 years of age, Junes. And the Kerala's assembly celebrations really meant to spread joy, eventually ended in despair. All right, finally, an unthinkable horror that's come out of Madhya Pradesh. Newborn babies mauled by rats inside the neonatal ICU of Indore's biggest government hospital. CCTV footage shows rodents scurrying around inside the NICU, dangerously close to the newborn's cribs. 2 infants, admitted just days after birth, were attacked by the rats on 2 consecutive nights. One bitten on the fingers and the other on the head and shoulder. Imagine the babies were kept there. The rats have bitten one child's fingers and the other's head. Both are now under treatment, but the babies are said to be stable. Shockingly, officials admit of that hospital that pest control had not been carried out in that hospital for 5 years, and that's a government hospital there. Only after the incident, the administration now is scrambling to launch a pest control drive and install iron nets and issue fresh advisories as well. The footage released by a Congress leader, in fact, Umang Singhar, has triggered huge outrage. He's accused the BJP government of criminal negligence, calling the hospital a death den and likening it to genocide. Hospitals are, of course, meant to protect lives, but here in Indore's largest government hospital, rodents there roaming around freely, leaving newborns bleeding. The question, of course, is if babies in the ICU aren't safe from rats, what faith can anyone have in healthcare system there? Thanks very much for tuning in. Have a great night.
Chandigarh, Coimbatore, NCR and Bangalore, Jaipur, Ahmedabad, Raipur and Hyderabad. We've been here, we've been there, Veka's been just everywhere.